I sold my car in Carvana last night.
Well, that's cool.
No, you don't understand. It went perfectly. Real offer, down to the penny. They're picking it up tomorrow. Nothing went wrong.
So, what's the problem?
That is the problem. Nothing in my life goes as smoothly. I'm waiting for the catch.
Maybe there's no catch.
That's exactly what a catch would want me to think.
Wow, you need to relax.
I need to knock on wood. Do we have wood? Is this table wood?
I think it's laminate.
Okay, yeah, that's good. That's close enough.
Car selling without a catch. Sell your car today on Carvana. Pickup fees may apply.
Welcome to Come On Talk, a No Facts, All Feelings wrestling podcast on the Social Suplex Network. I'm Allie.
I'm Leah.
I'm Mike.
And it is with great sorrow that I have to report to you guys that that this week Big Ann did get taken out by an airport mob. They got her.
They rushed her. They said,
got her.
"Look at you. You're obviously a freak." And they attacked.
Wondrous. We can't help ourselves. She went under. She hasn't been seen since.
It's so true.
We're going to miss her, but I know that she will be glad that she died doing what she loved, passing the airport test.
Is there a pent-up energy with, like, they've been restraining themselves from validating her by confirming that she meets the airport test up to now? And finally, they're like, maybe because it was brought up on all of the wrestling television, they realized, like, they've been withholding too much.
Yeah. They were like, we're actually disrespecting Big Ann by not mobbing her at the airport. We have to do it no matter the outcome. We have to show her how much we respect her.
It was morally responsible of everybody at the Dallas airport.
No, Ann lives, but she did have a variety of horrible sounding travel related issues this week, and we said, girl, don't show up to this podcast. We don't want you hurting any more than you already are.
And the cherry on top of the bad travel day was that she got sick. So
she got sick,
listeners, please send some good vibes Ann's way.
You got
She needs it.
The poor woman cruised in it after Dynamite last night is when she made it home and was like, I thought I was getting sick, but I am very sick. And it was like, okay, yeah. So we put out some feelers. We said, can we get a sub in here? And we got a sub we love, and that I didn't get to be with last time he was here. So our guest, as you heard, is Mike, host of podcast we love, Library Pizza, and a great online wrestling friend. Mike, welcome.
Thank you for having me. It is when I now know from experience, as an old hand at guesting on your podcast, what I know from last time.
So excited to learn what you know.
This is gonna mess up my relationship with the podcast for about a month is what happens. Because I mean, if you could just never mention me again in the time in between appearances, because the feeling of like they're gonna say something nice. Like I can't stand it. The suspense and the self-loathing I feel when acknowledged.
And it's hard because I want to say, like, we only want you to have a great experience when you listen to this pod, so we won't be nice to you next week. But it's like, we will. No, we will. No, we definitely will.
I tried to take that as granted. I was like, I accept this gift that you were hypothetically offering.
We'll see. We'll see. We'll see if Ann manages to restrain. My experience of being the person who wasn't there and was so grateful to have you be there for her is that it would have been impossible for me not to come on and say Mike killed it. So I suspect that she will feel that she will not feel able to leave you out of it, but we'll see. We'll see.
I mean, the good news is that most of your listeners do not have this problem. This is extremely localized to a small but important segment of your audience.
I would say one of our most important segments. Our Mike segment, one of our most important segments.
I mean, yeah, if you think about it that way, demographically, Mike's pretty key, pretty important.
There's so many of you. I'll say that. There's millions of you
Most
out there.
common name for men and for like 30 years straight, except 1 year where it was like Daniel or something.
Really?
And it's like decades of the most common name. And then I think it got replaced by Jacob for a while. I don't know where we're at now. But I've definitely fallen off the leaderboards. Everybody got tired of Michael.
I feel like I'm in Alexandria. That hasn't been popular. I mean, it's always kind of semi, but it hasn't been like at the top of the leaderboard since, I don't know, the 80s, I want to say. Is that right? What if I'm making that up and it is like really popular, actually?
It feels like kind of an 80s name to me. I
Right?
could see that. Yeah. Feels like
think
you should
so.
be like doing aerobics in some day glow.
That's what I'm always saying to myself. Why am I here? Why am I not doing aerobics? Well, do you feel like we're very grateful that you're here, Mike. Do you feel like this is a good week for you to be talking about Dynamite? How are you feeling about the product? Can I ask?
You are welcome to ask. You know that I am notorious among our friends for not really ever minding anything that happens on the show, by and large.
It's
we
one of my
appreciate it.
favorite. It's one of my favorite qualities when you come into a conversation and it'll just go, I thought it was fine.
And there have been those couple of exceptions. There was the time MJF really pissed me off. There have been other times where he specifically pissed me off less. And for whatever reason, I've decided that I just hate Cope. It's like that's my guy that I'm mean to.
I saw a little of this from you the other day, and I had missed it previously, I guess, just having been in and offline, as it were. And I was like, oh my gosh, Mike hates Adam Copeland. I was like excited. I was like, wow.
He's just so boring. He's so boring, and it takes up a lot of air with the boredom. But no, I mean, I think we're in a really fun stretch now. Like when we made the transition to MJF as champion, I was a little bit anxious. Not really that it was going to be that bad of a time for me, because again, my official stance is that I just don't care that much. And if it's bad, then I won't pay attention or I'll stop watching. So I don't have a lot of anxiety about that. But yeah, I did expect more racism. And it seems like somebody did tell him, hey, that was very racist. And he heard them. And so he did less of it afterward. Yeah. And so with him kind of sidelined, and with them, it feels like deciding, like, what if we made the episodic television really fun for like business reasons that I think Trish has explained. Yeah. It's been a lot of like fun matches that you usually felt like you would have to wait for a while. We're back in like the booking for the Sickos era, where they're just like, and now these guys are wrestling, and who knows why, right? Like Kevin Knight and MJF are just going to wrestle, and that's a thing you can do.
Yeah,
I have to say it was a real 2026 like thing to just be like, they're doing something crazy. They thought, like, should we make television like interesting? And it's just like, yeah, I wish more would. To be frank, I wish more would. It's I mean, MJF kind of, to my mind, a little bit got away with murder during his reign because it was so easy to imagine like how bad it was going to be. And like you said, like he did something like really bad up front, and then presumably got yelled at, and then was like, I'm gonna kind of lay a little low for my whole reign. And everyone was like, oh, fucking amazing reign, best reign of all time. And it's like, he just shut his fucking mouth. I mean, I could do that. I never have, but
theoretically we could.
I could theoretically shut my mouth and have the best title reign ever.
Yeah, no, I mean, the worst thing about him losing the title is it does feel like he now has to assert his dominance by talking more. And that does cause some friction. But it still hasn't been bad. It's been fine. I think that this version of the character has been an improvement over some previous iterations.
Yeah. I'm not really complaining, but we sure have seen him more in the last 3 weeks than I've seen him in the past 2 months.
Yeah. And it does feel kind of like what word am I looking for? Sensual? No.
Counter-sensual is my new favorite term, and I don't know what it means.
I need a definition.
I was trying to say sensical, and that's still not a word that I was counter-sensual. I have to tell you guys that when I was doing the schedule, sometimes you just have one of those days where it's like every word is eluding you. So it's like every other sentence, I felt like I was just like braced on my desk, like I'm like doing Lamaze breathing, basically being the word for when you want something but you can't. I don't know. So that's the mode I'm going to be in all night. I'm I'm a little concerned is that I'll be saying a lot of things like, what's the word? Counter-sensual?
The thing is
it
that it does feel
counterintuitive?
kind of right
Counterintuitive. Yes.
to be like, but it
Yes.
feels correct to be like, MJF is counter-sensual. It's like, that's not wrong.
No, it's one of the less sexy performances on the show. And I've never been, we don't need to get into this. I've
We
never
should.
been clear on why. I've never been clear on why. I guess it's probably because he likes old fashioned stuff, maybe. He's a little old school from
That's
the
what
days
makes
before
him
people were
counter-sensual?
horny. Yeah, like, well, I don't know why he isn't hornier in his, he's in his
Oh.
20s. He should be
Oh, I know.
irrepressibly horny.
Why he isn't performing horniness more.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought you were
I
just
do-
being like, why am I not attracted?
No, that part. Well, okay, one, that's not entirely true. He has his
great.
moments. We've all discussed his ass.
Yeah,
It's a good
absolutely.
ass.
Yeah.
He has his moments, but his moments never involve him being horny.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
You're right. He
Yeah.
doesn't. He's a dog who doesn't hump,
Yeah.
as the classic saying goes.
I think it just like
That
the thing
dog.
about him is that he just like even when I'm enjoying what he's doing, I am aware that like he is a guy performing the role of MJF, so I never really get lost in it the same way that I do with like Mox, you know?
Yeah. He does so rarely see it. Like sometimes he obviously, especially because of like times when we've gotten mad at him, he will say like repulsive, perverted stuff. But it isn't horny actually. Like it's
No.
like that's one of the things about it. It's kind of like, why would you even say that when you don't seem to mean it? Like you don't
Yeah.
even seem to feel it.
Yeah. Yeah. You know in the essay that was like
Everything's
Literally
beautiful,
everywhere.
but nothing's sexy.
Yeah. Do you remember that part in there about The Rock that like he's always held up as like a physical like embodiment of sexiness, but you actually never see him fuck? MJF is like that, where it's like, yes, he's got a very attractive body, but you never see him fuck.
You never see him fuck. And the thing is, you never see him fuck. I think we're off to a really good start. If I'm honest, this is the energy that I like for us to come out the gate with. So what I want you guys to hold in your minds for the rest of the episode, this kind of a thesis potentially. You never see him fuck.
Counter-sensual.
Counter-sensual. Let's move forward. Okay,
Yes.
luckily, we are starting with MJF. So MJF and Kevin Knight opened Dynamite this week. MJF made Justin Roberts recite a rude, like, anti-Virginia intro while he mean-mugged about it, which I only mentioned because I found it funny that he whispered it in Justin Roberts' ear, and then in the canon of AEW, Justin Roberts, I guess, just, like, memorizes everything he hears. And it's like, of course, I hate to do it, but of course I immediately can produce that.
I know. If that was me, I would have been like, wait, what was the next line? Can you say it again? I already forgot.
Which I would kind of love to see someone do as a purposeful bit. Just like to get at him. To just be like, what was it again? Oh, yeah. This mean line.
Well, and the premise seemed to be that if you as a wrestler can get to Justin Roberts and whisper in his ear before he finishes introducing you, he has no choice but
has
to
to say it.
reproduce
Yeah.
whatever you said.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, does explain some other bits that we've had over the years. But I
Yeah.
did not think that was the rule, and I'm worried for his safety.
It's like, Justin, this could go really wrong. It's a miracle that it hasn't thus far. And it may be because, last week when we were talking shoot the moon stuff, we were like, that rule would have to be deep in the bylaws. Maybe that's where this is. Maybe this is deep in the bylaws too, where it's just
Yeah.
like, and Justin Roberts does have to say anything you tell him to when he's announcing you, if you can get there fast enough. You just have to beat him to the punch. So we should keep an eye on that going forward.
Yeah.
I thought this was a pretty normal match. I'll ask you guys to weigh in on whether you liked it or highlights in a second. The only thing I've contributed here, plot-wise, I've said, is that Kevin Knight kind of hurt his knee in the match, and then most of the match was about hurting his knee more. And that was the structure of the match. It was about knee. It was knee stuff, mostly.
It was new stuff. Yeah, I liked it because I'm suddenly in this like place where I love Kevin Knight.
Yeah.
And so everything he does, I'm like, look at him. He's such a sweetie pie. And so when he won and like rolled MJF up and then he just had like the world's most delighted face about it, I was like, I'd die for you, I think.
Don't do that.
I love Kevin Knight a lot. I have the thing where I saw him as a young lion, and so I have this investment in my little guy. He feels like my son in a way that most of them don't. I mean, I would say almost none of them feel like my son.
Well, you can't have that many sons. You can only handle. We know this from personal experience.
Yes.
We only have
handpick.
a couple of sons.
Yeah.
It's him. It's Ricochet somehow.
Yeah.
Who may
Love
be
that.
older than me. I'm not sure.
That's
No, that's
immaterial.
fine. That doesn't matter.
Doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
Okay.
Yeah,
Good,
Ricochet is
good.
my son's friend, so I've
Ricochet's-
fed him.
Ricochet has eaten spaghetti and meatballs at my house before. Don't worry about that.
Ricochet has gone home to his mom and said, "Mom, I liked the mac and cheese that they made there. I think I like the real kind." And then his mom her feelings were hurt because actually she does the homemade mac and cheese and they did the craft out of the box.
no.
And her horrible son didn't appreciate her effort. And yes, I am describing, and for years, I think I've heard this story within the last 2 years, the time that I told my mom that she didn't make the real mac and cheese when in fact she was going to much greater effort.
So
Yeah,
sweet.
that conversation
sad,
also
sweet.
happened in our house. In fact, I believe my mom usually makes like each one of my me and my siblings a special meal for my birthday. And when my brother was like, I don't know, 8 or 9, he was like, can I request mac and cheese? And she went all out. She did like 5 cheese macaroni. Like she got really into it. And then he was like, it's not orange. Why isn't it orange?
I want craft dinner.
But I liked the match. I liked that Kevin Knight won the match. I had anxiety though, and this connects to what we were talking about with MJF before. I think I'm in a really difficult place with enjoying his matches right now, and it's partly because I think that he wrestled a little bit of a different style in his previous run as champion. I actually really liked his wrestling for the most part then. But he's been a little bit more vanilla. It's been a little bit more about just doing the heel work during the match, which I respect. Yeah. But I get into this really meta place with him because of all the discourse around him where he's being rude to Kevin Knight. He's coming out there with the thing on his elbow that says easy dub or whatever. He's talking him down in advance and he's calling him kid 50 times, which for me is borderline. And I would like to see him maybe do less of that in the future. And so I'm having this whole experience where I'm like, well, this is a pretty good match and I'm enjoying this. And I think that I'm feeling like Kevin Knight's maybe going to win, which is fun for me. But I'm now having this whole meta conversation with myself about whether MJF is burying him. I'm thinking like a wrestling podcaster.
Yeah.
And I
Get
don't
us all
like
eventually.
to be in that place.
It's
don't
very
like to think
difficult.
that way.
It sucks when you go down that road, and it's sometimes
scary.
it's unavoidable. I think I have the hardest time not doing it with MJF.
Yeah. Yes.
Because I'm immediately like, all right, let's start game theory.
And it's such, I don't, you could probably attribute it to a lot of different aspects of his presentation and his history. And, you can't, if you're even talking to anyone else about wrestling, you can't prevent yourself from hearing stuff about what MJF is getting up to backstage. Be it true or not, he's a hot topic. You must admit that so it is hard to just be I'm going to be in the moment with MJF and just think about this only as a story. You are immediately well, he's not thinking about it only as a story.
Yeah. Well, and there's this thing that happens where I start having the argument in my head with the other people I'm going to be talking to about this. Where if I like it too much and then other people are saying well, that, the argument with the way that he lost to Darby was fake job, which I sort of agree with, right? I do think there's an extent to which that was a little intentionally flamboyantly making a point of laying down, right? But that's all podcast talk. I just said laying down, which is not a thing that I do.
It was
but
hard
I'm
to hear
having
from you.
I'm having that fight with myself if I start to like it too much and if I start to dislike it too much about the argument that I'm going to have in the future with these other people. And I just it is such a miserable way to be interacting with the story.
Yeah. I think in some ways it is I don't know how he would fix it at this point, but I think it is it is a problem of his character a little bit at this point. It's just if he's not going to change anything about the character, which he isn't, as far as I can tell. You know, he loves to. I mean, the fact that last time he went off stage, I was going to say, he went off screen for a while. He was like, I'm going to change everything about myself, and then came back and was like, I didn't. It was like, okay, I give up.
Yeah.
I'm the one who will lay down and be like, you're not going to. But if he's not going to, then you just have so much baggage with him that I agree that it is hard to be in a place where you feel like you're really experiencing your feelings in an honest way with him sometimes. He did lose this match, as you mentioned, to your son, your young lion. There was a little complicated thing where it's like he went to like steal Kevin's TNT title from commentary to like cheat with it, but actually just to distract the ref so that he could use his Dynamite Diamond ring, which, as always, I'm just like, what good would it do? It's not useful, actually.
You can't ask that question at this stage. You've reminded me that doesn't make sense.
Yes, I know. I'm like, I just feel like I'm so beyond the Dynamite Diamond ring at this point. I'm like, I have too many questions. I can't stay in the moment with it. And he got low blowed by Kevin Knight, and then he got, what's the phrase that I felt like I'd never read before, but I'm sure I have, captured in a small package. Is that normal? That's being said?
This a small package is is a trap pin, I believe is the term. This is
never heard it.
Tony does a large package. Tony Storm.
I thought you meant Tony Khan.
Tony Khan does a large package.
I was like, what is he saying to me right now? Tony Storm does a large package. Kevin Knight does a small package. I'm locking that in. I'll never forget now. I'll never forget. Okay. All right. So MJF, very mad about his loss, relaunches an attack on Kevin Knight, and he immediately wallops his injured knee. He works the limb. That's not right, but I just can't stop thinking it. He worked the limb. And he is engaged in kind of a play in the ring where he's being like, Kevin, come let me beat you up some more. And Kevin is like prone in the corner of the ring, like, I'm just a baby. I'm just a little boy. Why would you do this to me? Behind MJF, Darby rappels down from the rafters. Anyone want to share their thoughts in this moment?
Just pure delight in that moment where I just, like, when I saw him coming down like a little spider, I genuinely typed to our group chat, Darby, they'll never make me hate you. Never.
I agree. It does nothing for me, but he's having a great time. And I can't take that from him. I'm happy he's enjoying it.
No one can take anything from him.
Yeah, many of the things that Darby does, all I can picture is him being backstage, being like, yeah, I get it, I'm champion. Can I come down from the rafters, though?
Absolutely.
And, like, that's all he wants.
That's the part that pleases me. It's not seeing him come down for the rafters, because I have to say that, like, anytime he comes down from the rafters, to me, he's just like the incy-wincy spider. Like, it's so, because you have to come down so carefully. And so it's, like, slow and careful. But, like, the delight to me is, like, God, and he needed this so bad. And people tried to, like, ask if he wanted to do other things. And he was just like, no. Can I come down? Can I use the rope again? Can we do the rope again? I want to come down on the rope again.
Well, the thing that makes it really thrilling happens off screen. That is the thing that is so strange for me about it. Is like when I remind myself what this is from his perspective, I'm like, yeah, that's nuts. Yeah. But what it is from my perspective is a guy showing up from a little bit higher than many of the other characters with support.
Yeah, and he comes down and he just looks dangly and silly because he's just hanging in the air. Yeah. And then there's a weird dismount period where they try to cut away, but sometimes they don't. And like he's like unfreeing himself from the harness. The whole thing is silly, but of course I'm obsessed with it.
If we could get Andrade struggling to remove his pants at the bottom of the line, if we could combine those two beats, nothing could make me happier.
Darby and Andrade locked in a match where Darby can't get out of his harness and Andrade can't get out of his pants. So the match can't And then like throw a little old school like AEW in, like I know it's like he's so rude, but it's like, I don't know, bring Jake Hager back, put him in a shark cage above the ring, and he can't unlock that either. Like let's go all out, baby.
There's barbed wire bombs that are like sparking.
Oh my God, I forgot. How could I forget?
One of the wrestlers has put on a jacket, and apparently they've never taken it off before. So they didn't know what it was going to be like.
If I were a wrestler, I think most of my practice work, it would be like, Allie, work on your moves. I'd be like, I got to practice taking my clothes on and off. I got to practice I have my outfit on. It's just like all on and off in front of a mirror, just being like, I can do this so easily. I know exactly how it comes. I know exactly how my limbs work. I can take anything off in a second. I can undo any lock. Just be an escape artist. Houdini. I just want to be Houdini. Darby rappels down. He screedles into the ring, and he catches MJF in a scorpion death drop, and he kind of drops him. And MJF runs off and scrambles up the ramp, and both men get mics, which is a moment that I love. Just the theater of it. It's like, let's get these men microphones. And MJF is rolling around on the ground being like, you people suck. I didn't even take this match seriously. He looked so much like it was such a little boy tantrum vibe. Like he looked like he'd already been sobbing for half an hour and had like just recuperated enough to start screaming again.
Yep.
And he is to Darby in the ring. He's like, I only care about my... I hated this match. I hate Kevin. I hate you. All I care about is my belt. I want my belt back. Give me my rematch, Darby. And Darby shook his head, and the crowd is chanting no, because they know what Darby's going to say, and he does say, no, heart. No, absolutely not.
This bit is killing me. I do enjoy it very much. No.
It's nice because you don't hear it in wrestling that much. Like, you don't hear someone just be like, no, without... And the fact that it stops MJF in his tracks calls much of what I've seen in the past into question. Like, I'm just like, none of you had to agree to any of this. You could all have just said no. It's a complete sentence. Darby says no. He says, I'm not going to give you that rematch until you put something on the line. And if I survive tonight with Brody King, I think I know exactly who deserves a shot next week. We're in Toontown. MJF is screaming, me! I deserve the shot. But Darby is leveraging a meaningful look at Kevin Knight, and Kevin Knight's eyes are widening like, me? Me, sweetie baby Kevin Knight?
Ultimo sweetie baby.
Ultimo sweetie baby. Did this fill your heart with pride as a father?
I feel anxious about him being next to these other people is honestly my response. It's like every second that he's in this main event scene, I'm a little bit nervous for him.
You're like, I don't know if my son's ready.
Yeah.
Yes.
What are you scared of?
I'm scared that they're going to have him stand and watch during the main event and stroke his chin because they cut to him at the weirdest conceivable time. And he doesn't know what to do because in fairness to him, there is nothing to be done.
Having read the schedule, you know how right you are to be scared of that. You know just how right you are to be scared of that.
It was baffling.
We'll be getting into that much more deeply in a moment. In this moment, Kevin doesn't know what's going to happen during the main event to him or to anybody. He only knows that he is going to get to fight Darby, and that is a huge honor. And what's happening here? Oh, who's saying what? Oh, okay. Brody King comes out. Leah, what's Brody look like?
Okay, I have turned the page with Brody King. I'm obsessed with him. I am very attracted to him. Why was he wearing a jacket that made him look like the trash heap from Fraggle Rock? I kept staring at that jacket and being like, where did you even get that?
It was like Party City camouflage. I mean, like camouflage at a Party City. Like you're trying to, there's confetti around and you don't want anyone to find. It was very funny. He marches into the ring. He squares up with Darby. He says, I got some bad news for you, Darby. You're not going to survive tonight. And Jet, I got some news for you. Next week, you're not going to be facing Darby Allin. You're going to be facing the new AEW World Champion. Woof. Woof. And then he leaves again. I want to talk about this. How did this strike you characterization-wise?
I was really surprised by it because his energy the last time he talked to Darby was pretty chill. And he was just like, can't wait to have, an honor match with you. We're old friends and this is going to be fine. And then this time he was like, I'm going to fucking kill you.
So aggro.
Yeah, I mean, it feels to me like very traditional wrestling brain storytelling, because what it feels like happened to me there was they're like, well, we want to have Darby say that he's going to have a match with Kevin Knight. We don't want to tip off the finish to this, even though everyone knows how this one is going to end. And we don't want people to feel that we are not really behind Brody, which we aren't. And so he has to pretend to be infuriated and to have his dignity wounded by this idea that somebody is looking past him. And so he has to come out and be a little bit shitty about the whole thing. And it's like, I actually think that the gesture there is basically correct. Like, if you want me to invest in the competition of it all, I suppose that I should see Brody being mad about the idea that he might not win. But I mean, it presses on those buttons and makes me remember how I know he's definitely not going to win. And the fact that he's spending this time telling me he is going to win is just a weird use of everybody's time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think to me, I'm like, the thing that is, and I'm a sensitive girl, okay? I'm just a sensitive girl. And I don't think that faces should be like that mean. Like, I'm just like, you have to chill out a fucking little bit. I think the thing that pushed it over the top for me and was just like, it's too aggressive, is that he went to the trouble of coming out, like his own entrance. And I was thinking about it and I was like, if Brody had like run out to, as Darby was coming down, they both were like, we're going to defend Kevin Knight. And then he happens to be out there. And then he has kind of a look of like, well, don't talk about it like you're definitely going to win. I might win. That would be fine for me. I would be like, I get it. You're feeling a little, tender about this. Like you're defensive. That would make sense. It's the fact that he goes to all the trouble of coming out in his Party City costume to be mean to people. I'm like, well, then that's mean and you're a bad person. And then I shut down. So that's the issue for me, I think.
Yeah. I think there was a way that he could have come out and like ratcheted up the energy in like a like more natural way instead of just seeming to have like not match their energy. Like it just felt discordant in a way. Like I was like startled and was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I think he could have expressed the same like thoughts, but better, I think.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's interesting. And one thing I'll add on top of that is you never see him fuck.
Just a little hot tip. A hot tip from me for us all wrestlers. Maybe do it better.
Kelly, I do want to say that it was a little bit concerning for me that you, at the exact moment I thought, and you never see him fuck. Also, get that.
That's not concerning. That's the groupthink atmosphere of the podcast taking over. That's you feeling like we're on to a pretty good bit here. Let's keep running that one down until it's dead in the dirt. And you're going to be hearing it from me again.
Yeah.
Okay. So, all right. So let's set that aside. Later in the night backstage, Renee is talking to Andrade and Don Callis about how Andrade is on a real tear, which he isn't. I did kind of check Cage Match because I was like, that doesn't sound that right. He's not winning that much, actually. But I like that, I guess Renee was like, let's big him up a little. He's having a rough month, actually. She's talking to them. MJF interrupts to be like, just like me, to be like, fact check. You're not on a tear. You fucking suck. You ruined my fucking life. You ruined this company because Darby Allin is on a reign of terror. He's just a little spider. He's fine.
I did kind of like this because I think MJF's like tantrum energy did in this tip over into like in really enjoyable comedy for like he was in full 8-year-olds overtired at Disney mode.
I agree. I think it worked. Okay, so he and Andrade are then getting into it a little because Andrade responds. Andrade responds and says, "Okay, how you know?"
Which is a callback to some of our favorite foods.
The thing is that I was like, I know that saying. Why do I know that saying? This is a reference. And you were immediately like, oh, it's our favorite fucking like Darby bit of all time that somehow, even though we bring it up all the time, every time I've gone to look for it, it's just been, I don't know what's happened. It's just been like, I can't find it. And I was like, okay, I have to actually hear what was said in that. So I went back and I found all the videos from that run of times when Andrade just kept calling Darby a little kid and being like, Sting is your employer. That's why he said it in the first place. Was that it was about that
like,
Tony
why does Sting even employ Darby? And he's like, I think they're friends.
I know. Tony Schiavone was like, he doesn't. They're friends. And Andrade said, how you know?
Doesn't he call him Mr. Sting? Which is
Mr. Stink. He calls him Mr. Stink. And there's I rewatched these videos because I was like, I also can't quite remember this. And I was treated to Darby's early acting and his attempts to kind of make it work naturalistically, which is a very interesting thing that he does. And I got to enjoy Andrade playing two beats in a promo against Sting that they were very nuanced, but he had to he had to chew them carefully. So he started to call him Mr. Stink because he's been calling him that for weeks. But he realizes I respect the man standing in front of me, and he stops himself. He doesn't finish saying. He's like, "You" or something. He doesn't say the Mr. Stink. And it was so beautiful to watch him put in the effort to depict each of those stages of the exchange.
He took us on a journey that many wrestlers would not bother to take us on. I'll say.
That's true.
It's really one of the most sublime series of videos I've ever seen. It's just as good as I remembered, honestly. It really is. Because the whole bit is just basically that Andrade's like, I'll buy the little boy. I'd like to... I'll have the little boy. And it has I'm not going to be able to remember it on the second, so don't worry about it. But so he calls back to this, and they'd go back and forth with how you know a number of times. And I thought, you're right to have remembered that that's iconic. Good for you.
Yeah. Yeah. And for MJF to play it like every time he says it, MJF's like ratchets his anger up even higher. Good.
I found it to be an effective segment. They start to fight physically, if you can imagine it. And brave Don Callis throws himself between his two angry boys. And he says, Andrade, you're my money man. MJF, you are the money man. A distinction that I can't say I totally parse. No. I'm getting an agreement. No.
It doesn't make any sense. I think there's the fact that Andrade was canonically very rich in his original AEW run. And he's still, if you watch New Japan, when he shows up and is mysteriously in Will Ospreay's faction, we just learned about that the other week.
Yeah.
They talk about how he's so rich that he's like financing the whole team now, which is very interesting to combine with the AEW kayfabe. Challenging in some regards, I would say. And I don't know why they want me to think he's rich. That's like my number one question is he's already got everything. He's already beautiful. He's got those wonderful highlights. He can't get his pants off. He needs to leave something on the table for the rest of us. And wealth would be one option.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that, and this could be wrong, I'm not sure that Andrade does feel he needs to leave anything on the table. I like the idea that behind the scenes he's like, I have everything. And it is funny because to me, canonically, and then as I say it, I'm like, not canonically for the show that I watch, but I'm like, Don Callis is basically destitute at this point. He can barely feed his boys. So why isn't Andrade paying for any ham. It comes up on the show every week.
It is funny to picture Don Callis being like, maybe just like if you could throw me a ham, and John is like, not now, I'm busy.
I'm
I
peacocking.
have no interest. I have no interest in the basement boys.
I have to spend all my money on new gloves. I need a new pair of gloves. Well, they're both money men. Don Callis says business is business. He doesn't have a belt right now. You don't need to fight him. Let's all just focus on business. And then as they move aside, he turns to Renee, and I love when people say things in this companionable kind of tone to Renee. Wild horses, they're going to run. What can you do?
Perfect thing to say. Perfect
Amazing.
thing to say.
Amazing stuff. All right. Any other thoughts on, did I have any more questions here? We talked about his comedies. All right. Darby and Brody then do main event. Kevin, as was foretold in an earlier section of the podcast, was watching from the crowd. The AEW.com recap asks, how much punishment could Alan take? Ain't that the question? Ain't that the question every week?
Darby Allin has been trying to answer that question for the past 10 years, and he hopes that there's no limit, actually.
Yeah. He says, I can take anything. Darby coffin drops Brody for the win. Ultimately, they shake hands respectfully. Brody has calmed down, I guess. He got his yayas out in this match. And the recap again says he leaves the ring for Alan to celebrate. This celebration consists of Darby kind of staggering around a little aimlessly, looking out into the crowd. The camera cuts out into the crowd. The camera is on Kevin Knight, who's been watching the match. Kevin is talking to himself. Kevin is stroking his chin. Kevin is talking to himself. Care to comment, Papa?
I don't know what they wanted him to do, because it wasn't the first time they cut to him. The first time they cut to him, I think, was, I'm trying to remember exactly what was going on. It was during some business on the outside. It might have been the sequence that ultimately, I think it was when Brody was like tearing things apart so he could throw Darby onto the logo that he'd taken off of the announce desk, and then they could do the stuff on the desk. So the first time I remember seeing them cut to him was Brody has just ripped that off, and he's like put it on the railing, and then they cut to Kevin, who is stroking his chin there too. And it was like, I don't know what I would do any differently, because like the idea that they're like, what does Kevin Knight make of this stuff where he's going to be thrown through a sign, and then they're going to obviously do a big spot on a table. I didn't know what he had to contribute there.
Yeah. Yeah. It is difficult, because even if you do have a strong view of your character, which I'm not saying that Kevin Knight does, the pantomime options you have for being filmed sitting in a crowd are sort of limited.
Yeah. It struck me as a moment where it might have been helpful for him to have his canonical husband with him as someone to kind of turn and give a little aside to. And you couldn't do this. I'm not suggesting you do this, but even kind of a clipboard or something. Let's take some notes on the match. So let's have a little something to just be like, we're looking at the mat. We're talking. Oh, I'm going to have to keep an eye out for that. When you're on your own, you have a more limited range of options. And I will say at the end, they were cutting that camera back to him quite a few times. So we're on Kevin, then Darby, Kevin, then Darby for kind of a long time. And Kevin really looked like he was running out of stuff to do. And he's just kind of talking to no one. But he's doing it so like placidly. Like he just looks like it's so normal for him that I was like, if Kevin Knight was wandering around backstage talking to ghosts, that would completely square with his character for me, that people are like, Kevin is such a fun, nice guy. One thing, he does talk to no one a lot. He will tell you like, there's a guy over there. You won't see the guy. I would just ignore it. Let it go.
No, I mean, he's not aggressive about it. It's not like a huge deal. It's just, just a fun little quirk.
We do need a high concept supernatural gimmick for Kevin Knight. I think we've all been thinking it. Like he's good. It's fun that he jumps high. It's fun that he calls himself the one you look up to. That's a good bit.
Yeah.
But what if he also could see ghosts or taste the future or something?
I guess it's more that I'm just saying, like, is it already happening? I'm not really recommending it as something that could happen. I'm saying, like, is it happening?
Maybe that's why Speedball makes such incredible eye contact with him, to distract him from the ghosts. It's like the only way you can keep him from looking at the beheaded guy that's just off screen.
That's so amazing for
Yeah.
Speedball to be like, hey, we've talked about this in couples therapy. Eyes on me. Nope. Eyes on me. I'm talking to you now. The ghost can talk to you in a couple minutes, but this is my time, and I need you to focus.
Or, like, I'm imagining, too, that he's like, Kevin, we're going to be filming a segment, and we have got to get through that segment. We can't be introducing new elements into the set. You don't actually have a supernatural gimmick, okay? So I want you to focus on me. And I know, I'm kind of imagining that these ghosts are just like, a lot of them are just like, it's like a construction worker who died while they were building the stadium or whatever. And it's like the stuff Kevin Knight is saying to ghosts is just like, oh shit, they used to sell Mountain Dew here? You know? And Speedball is like, we cannot be introduced. I don't know what you're gonna say. We can't be introducing that into the segment. So look at me. Hold my gaze. Hold my gaze. You see nothing but me. You see nothing but me. Is this a winner of an idea?
I think it's perfect. Yeah. Guy who sees ghosts and says nothing interesting to them.
I like the idea that he's like, most people when they see the ghosts, they want to have like a whole complex conversation about like what it means to die, what happens, how does it feel to be a ghost. He's like, I want to give them a nice low key conversation about Mountain Dew.
Yeah. He's listening. He's listening and he's not judging. And sometimes he'll say things like, he's wearing the funniest pants. And it's like, you see enough ghosts, like maybe look up like what that kind of pant is. He's like, no. No, I don't think so. Oh my God. Anything you want to say about Leah? You had raised this question of Darby's workhorse reign.
Yeah, I mean, not to get too male podcaster about it, but I kind of really like that Darby is like gonna do a TV defense every week until whoever dethrones him. Like, I like that. And I especially like it because of how many people were like, he doesn't seem like a champion. It's not believable that he's a champion. And I'm like, great. He wrestles constantly. I love it.
I have been struggling a little bit again with the meta element of this, just in that for literal years, I have been on Discords, and that's a decision that I've made. I could stop the sentence there and just leave.
Yeah.
No,
we could all just leave.
Yeah. It's
yes.
a personality flaw in all three of us. Sure. Yeah.
But we've been talking about what would happen if Darby were champ, and the pitch has always been he'll go up against a bunch of mean guys, and there will always be a feeling like, I don't know, maybe this is the one, and he'll have a short reign, and he probably won't even make it through a pay-per-view. And he's been looking into the camera and saying, I am doing the thing you've been talking about on Discord. Remember when I said before that I'm going to do this till the wheels come off, and then I lost pretty soon after? We're doing it again. It's exactly your fantasy booking nerds on Discord. But like, it is good. There was a reason that we did that, which is that it is the correct use of the character. Like the thing, when Darby is one of those people who every now and then for years there's been why isn't he more pushed? Why does he lose so much? And it's like, he loses so much because it doesn't matter that he loses so much because he's still fun. He's got it figured out in the way that they all should. We're like, what if it were fun to see you whether or not you were winning?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep.
I mean, it's interesting for you to, I think I just like can't look at it, so I don't see it a little bit, like complaints about like why, and I used to see it, but I just stopped eventually because I'm like, that's one of his greatest strengths. Like it's phenomenal to me that it's like I watch a Darby match and I don't give a shit at the end whether he won or lost. To me, he won because the things he did were so crazy, and he's just getting back up like, let's do it again. Let's fucking do it again. It's like, that's the win.
Right.
The win is that he still wants to die.
Yes.
Right.
And we
right.
do see him fuck. We have seen it, and we do see it.
Yeah. That is something he does share with Mox, where it's like it doesn't actually matter because you could like you get that the character it is about the fight for the character, not so much the result. Like Mox is a little bit more complicated because of the Moxness of it, but it is like the character like just loves to be in the fight, and that's so visceral in every single match.
Even I have to draw a line at saying on this podcast something that I said to you, my friend, when we were watching last night about this match. But Darby did something in this match that was so sensual to me in a way that I'm like, I've never seen it before, that I like had to preface my message to some of my dearest friends who've heard the nastiest perversions from me of all time. I'm like, not to be crude, not to be rude and crude, but did you just see what I saw? And I'm not going to say it to you. So that's a little tease. That's actually a little... Mike, maybe you'll hear after the podcast.
I am desperate to find out.
I just had to go look it up because I didn't remember it. Yeah, it was filthy.
Yeah. One of the nastier things I've ever said. But you must admit, was I not right?
Yeah, you were.
Yeah. So anyway, let's press on. Hey. Oh my God. Speaking of rude and crude. Speaking of nasty, filthy. Speaking of sensual. Not counter-sensual.
Not counter-sensual.
Not counter-sensual. This is no MJF situation. Last week, something happened on Collision that caused many of you to approach us and say, you guys got to see this. There's something...
When we wake up to multiple like tags and messages on Sunday morning being like, you have to watch Collision, I feel a thrill in my heart.
Oh my
I'm
God.
Like, no one ever wants to watch Collision, but when you tell us we're going to enjoy something, it fucking rules.
It was like, I mean, we were very excited, and we'd heard from our beloved friend Sarah over at Trish and Sarah. She said, watch it together if you can. And due to her travel troubles, was not able to watch with us, which I think will be hurting for the rest of our lives, that we couldn't all be together in this moment. Yeah. I hope she has seen it by now. I think it could heal her 100% back from the brink.
I agree.
We are going to work together now to describe what happened on Collision. If you'll recall correctly, last week on Dynamite, the last we saw of Ospreay, he was being carted off by the Death Riders.
Yeah.
Over someone's shoulder.
Yep.
Maybe Claudio.
I think it was. I think it started with Danny, and then somehow he ended up in Claudio's arms.
Everyone wanted to hold him a little bit, you know? What did we see in this Collision segment?
They were, first of all, they were in some sort of like basement dungeon thing. Setting the stage, I was already into that.
So true.
Where are you? So
the uncertainty.
He's in a chair. And then
we see him get dumped in the chair. I will say that. We see his body he gets sit down. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yuta throws water in him in the funniest way ever, where he's like, I'm playing too. I'm having fun here too.
Marina has been, I don't know, training in some kind of neck realignment masseusing. Was that your takeaway from this?
Yeah, but like in an angry Swedish massage way.
I couldn't decide. I went back and forth like 4 times on whether this was supposed to be helpful or she was finishing him off. Like I could not decide what I was supposed to feel about what was being done to him, because I did know if it happened to me, I would not like it. But I also don't have like a broken neck. So maybe if your neck is broken, if your neck tummy hurts bad enough,
it's
you
reverse
like it.
curse. Yeah.
Ospreay did sort of react like she fixed him. So I am sort of like in your face, Doc Samson. Apparently that's all he needed. He's fixed now.
And Mox did say, he said, she's good. Like, kind of like she's always doing this kind of thing for them. It's like, our necks are always pretty fucked up. We just get Marina in a towel. She yanks us around in a way that does look like it should kill you. It would kill me. It would kill me. That'll be it. But it kind of perked him up. Like, okay, maybe I can have this conversation. And Mox leans forward and he says, what is it that you're trying to accomplish? Should I read this whole paragraph? It's so long, but...
Yeah, but I'm going to stop you immediately. Our friend Nicole was like, what are you afraid of? What do you want? What are you afraid of? Like,
what do you love? What do you fear?
Mox gets it.
He got right into it. He said, I think someone else did say, it's like, this is like the writing center dungeon.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
And it was. What is it that you're trying to accomplish other than breaking my neck? It's like, you're trying to break his neck, but whatever. When you go to the ring, when you get up in the morning, where are you trying to go? Who are you trying to be? What is it that you're chasing? I don't think you know the answers to those questions anymore. Yes, he does not. He never has.
No, he has no idea. And that's you're really zoning in on the problem, and Mox. Really appreciate it.
Yeah. Almost 7 years ago, I saw you for the first time. The power you yield, the ability you have. But this, your body, flesh, muscle, bone, will break eventually. You can try to run through the brick wall as many times as you want, but the wall's not going anywhere. But if you step back and realize there's a door, you can walk right through it and become whoever you want on the other side. And then he's pointing at his brain. Do you want to say something there? You want to...
That
can
is
pause.
All-time cult leader shit. Perfect.
Absolutely.
Absolute nonsense in the best possible way.
The second after he says this, I'm like, you want to play midnight volleyball? You want to stay up like really, really late and go play volleyball?
I do get distracted in that moment by the question of, I feel like for Mox to say that, he has to have gone to the other side of the door. And my question immediately is like, I mean, this is kind of my question about this whole turn for his character in this sequence. Like, every time I see you are bleeding, you're falling on spikes, you're getting shot. Like, it feels like you are doing exactly the sort of thing that you would tell him not to do. And it's interesting to me that apparently that's because you've transcended, like you went through the door and on the other side of the door, you're allowed to do the skewer spot from death matches. I don't know what he thinks he knows that the other characters don't. And I'm curious about it. But that's been the question for like a year and a half with him.
I think he knows that you should have a strong neck if you're going to do those things. And that if you have a weak neck, you might not be able to do those exact things. It's just all about neck strength.
We didn't realize that was such a key part of the Death Riders, but it actually is.
They're doing special exercises in that dungeon just to keep the necks strong. So he points at his head, though. He points at his brain. He said, this, trained and honed properly, it will not break. You take dominion over your mind, and we can turn you into a weapon like professional wrestling has never seen. This thing, he's pointing between them, has got to come to a head one way or another. And then he does the thing that's just like, what the fuck? You're such a loon. It's so sexy. It's so sexual. He is like, he says, we can settle up and you can be just like everybody else, or you can become everything you're meant to be, your choice. And what he's doing as he says this is he's passing Will Ospreay a chair, lying down on the floor, putting his arms like behind himself, like I'm prone, I'm here. If you want to break my strong neck, you have the right to do so. I'll take it like a man.
I didn't quite understand what he was doing at first when he first laid down, where I was like, now what's about to happen? And then when I understood, I was like, Mox, you genius.
You dirty dog.
You weird little genius.
It was one of those moments where I know how to read something in wrestling and I become a little bit concerned about myself as a result, because the idea, it did take me a second, but once I understood that what he was saying was, do the thing that everybody understands you do when you want to break a neck, which is you put a folding chair like you would find at like a high school gym around my neck and then stomp on the legs, and that will destroy my vertebrae. The fact that I knew that's what he was saying did make me question things about my life.
Yeah, I mean, are we wasting our wild and precious life on this? Perhaps so. But on the other
time
hand,
will pass anyway.
I thought there was something very wild and precious about this. To be quite honest.
Yeah.
The way that he laid down was something to think about.
Lightheaded. I'm lightheaded. Even just, I mean, seeing it was like getting 2x4'd repeatedly to the back.
I was sweating profusely through this whole thing.
I couldn't believe what was happening. It's like a man takes you to his weird dungeon. He acts like you gave him a really bad essay and he's going to have to do a lot of work to fix it. He gets out the red pen. And then he lies down on the floor in front of you and says, break my neck. It's pretty, when you put it that way, it's a pretty classic sexual scenario.
We've all been there.
Every second we're not there, we're wanting to get back there.
The eroticism is in having permission to break his neck.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Big time.
Yeah. Kill me. Kill me. Kill me. And Ospreay, you see him like take the chair kind of, and then he says to the camera, get out. Get out now. We can't see this. This is what we can't see. Look at what we just saw and we were allowed to see. What can't we see? Think about that.
Yeah.
We never see him fuck.
And yet, we didn't need to because we knew it happens.
Because we kind of did. In another sense, in this sense, this wasn't countersensual, so we kind of did.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So,
I just thought contrasensual.
Contrasensual. Yes, Leah. Wow. Contrasensual. This was contrasensual. Okay. So let's carry this exact energy over to Dynamite. We get a pre-tape where we cut to another understair area, some kind of public space, but the Death Riders have made it a private space, in a sense, for them. And Danny Garcia, who is telling us that this is where they train. He said, you don't get to be the best out there until you're the best in here first. Marina Shafir and Wheeler Yuta are rolling around together. They're learning things. Body. They're learning things body-wise.
Exploring each other's bodies. Yeah, it's fine.
On the floor nearby, Marina and Yuta are exploring each other's bodies. Will Ospreay walks in. He has a little messenger bag slung across his chest. He's wearing a tight little shirt, kind of athletic T-shirt. And he has
an apprehensive look on his face. Like, he's nervous, he's unsure, but determined.
And he's trying to stay cool, though. Like, kind of like impassive apprehensive. Like, you can see, like, you're stressed, but he's like, I'll show nothing.
Yeah.
And
he's trying to get dominion over his mind.
Whatever happened after that camera left, it put us on this path to attempted dominion. And Mox jumps up and is like clearly is like, fuck yeah.
He's so excited.
You want to take a turn, Mike? You want to tell a little of this story? It's fun, I have to say.
I honestly don't.
Great. You know what? That's so real. I'll keep going.
I wasn't prepared. I apologize.
It's really not fair to be like, and cut to mine.
I appreciate the gesture.
I just didn't want you to feel left out if you were like, God, I can't believe she gets to tell this whole story and I don't get to tell any of it. Leah, you want to take a little?
Mox jumps out of the chair with
Yes.
alacrity and says, he has arrived. Did you get cleared? Excited. Ospreay shaking his head. Nope. I might as well tell you now, that's not going to stop me from going to Japan with the United Empire boys, which we learned all about.
We learned all about that, yeah.
He says, I'm not letting them down.
Yeah, the
Mox.
boy's got a big tight
The
mind.
fact
He's
that
so
they ate-
flat. The affect is. I just want to like drive. Like he just looks like I'm going to be a brave, strong boy. I'm
Yeah.
not going to let him see my fear.
Yeah.
I'm not going to let my boys down.
Deadpan says, loyalty. You are too good to be true. This conversation's insane. Already. We're like 10 seconds into this
You
cruise
are
tape.
too good to be true.
What are you talking about?
And then he starts kissing him. I have to assume.
Yeah.
Like that's where that dialogue
It's a big
goes.
one on him. It's a big one on him.
Osprey's foot pops. Yeah.
Well, he does something. I mean, basically, that is what happens because he's so activated. It's like he's like impassive, slow smile, loyalty. You are too good to be true. He's so horny, but he kind of knows he can't kiss him for some reason. So instead, he looks around, turns to Pac, and just like tickles Pac's stomach, kind of like pokes Pac's stomach and makes a noise. I can't replicate it. Like, it's like a creature noise. Like, just like, like he has cuteness aggression at Pac to distract from how badly he wants to take Will Ospreay on the floor.
This is... I am always thinking during the long backstage Mox segments about how many takes they probably do for these, because I think the number is low. And the reason that is important is that is the backdrop for Mox's terrorism, his psychological assaults on his coworkers. Because, like, that Pac is back there thinking, like, I didn't know that I was really even involved in this moment, but you've been doing a good job, and acting at this length for wrestlers in a way that sounds relatively natural is close to impossible. I certainly couldn't do it. So I can't break. I can't do anything. I just have to let him poke my tummy. And I feel like this is something that Mox is doing to his fellow wrestlers often. He is doing something weird enough that they either have to do something in response or they just have to let the energy sit there. Yeah. And it is a powerful semi-collaborative technique. Mm-hmm. I think I would hate it if I were working with him, but I would also be turned on, and that's part of the anger.
That is so true. Yeah. I wouldn't last a second. Everything that I think shows up on my face seconds later. It would just be like, you got to get out of the shot. Hey, Allie, you actually have to leave the shot. Every time. I don't know how they do it. I think he must test him for it before they're allowed to join the Death Riders, potentially.
I did understand the feeling of turning, looking at Pac in his little hat, which I found very distracting, his cute little hat.
It was sweet. Yeah.
And feeling like, I got to touch this man. I got to do something, because it's wild that he exists physically in the same universe as me. I don't know what to do about this. Yeah. I totally get it.
Cuteness aggression is a perfect description of what he was experiencing. It's very funny to be aimed at Pac, who is a goblin.
It was thrilling to behold, and it was thrilling to see Mox like outside his body just in a way that you don't often see, kind of like outside the ring from him. Like, it was just like he was so somewhere else. And so then he turns around, he turns to Will Ospreay. Will Ospreay's being a really brave boy. And Mox says, okay, first things first, I'm going to need you to drop everything. Everything up here, pointing at the mind again, which we must get dominion over. Everything up here that clouds your vision, makes you see things that aren't there. Everything in here, at the heart, that tugs and pulls at your heartstrings. Everything in here, gesturing at the stomach. I'm like lunch. It's like the anger that burns a hole in your stomach. Drop it all. Excessive baggage. We don't need it. Your feelings about me, drop it. I'm sweaty. I'm confused. Yeah. I'm sweaty. Mm-hmm. We don't need excess baggage. I make no promises. I don't produce miracles. But when I make a commitment to something, I see it through all the way to the end. All I ask is the same in return. Long pause. Will Ospreay says, okay.
This was perfect to me because it did feel like Ospreay was like trying.
Yeah. I can't say how much. I don't know. Always with Ospreay, I'm like, what were you thinking? But I have to say, whatever he was thinking, it turned out perfect.
Yeah.
Just turned out perfect. And he moved, and he had kind of like this also was just such a funny moment because then he like moves into the stairwell space that they have created their own little world in. And he kind of has a stare down with Pac on the way. We know that might come up later. And then he says, where's the ring? And it was like, oh, you little rich boy. Where's the ring? You got a lot to learn about life on the mean Death Riders street.
You're not ready for the ring.
I'm under the stairwell. Where's the ring? It's not here.
So
it's like, was he expecting like you to be like, oh, first door on the left,
where you hide the ring? But it honestly, it was like it was so right for him and it was kind of right for the scenario. I don't know if they were thinking about it this much, But it really felt like he was like, I know the way to do things. Like, when you're training to wrestle, you get in the ring. And it was right that Mox was like, baby, you don't know anything about what I'm about to do to you. We're about to do something that you have never even heard of. You couldn't even conceive of it. If I tried to tell you now what we're going to do, you wouldn't be able to speak for a week. You would be so astonished.
I'm going to read to you Allie's private Discord message that is forbidden on the podcast. And it's going to change you, man.
I think it was.
Immediately, Ospreay's neck tummy starts hurting.
But it's a contrasensual ache. He loves the feeling. Mox says, we don't do a ring. We're starting from the ground up. Then he turns to the camera, says, the rest is proprietary. Puts a hand on the camera, segment done. Yet again, the rest is proprietary. We were allowed to see all of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
The rest is proprietary. Okay. Great. Perfect. I'll just be thinking on it.
Yeah.
I got to go write in my diary.
For 2 hours. Unbelievable.
Also, when that happens, when they like are about to start, Claudio takes off his shirt and steps forward, like, okay, now it begins. And this is another iteration of like, I really appreciate the dedication to kayfabe on this. The idea that when you get serious as a wrestler, you always naturally take your shirt off. Like, even if you're actually coming out for commentary, if you're a serious wrestler and you expect to compete in the near future, you are shirtless. And I don't know what the rationale is in fiction, but what it feels like to me is just if you need the horny power that you get from being mostly nude in order to wrestle correctly.
Yeah. Yep.
Yes, you have to access your animal self. That could be right. I think in this moment I had a pretty different thought where I was like, if you're someone who has like some sensory issues, sometimes you'll have a thing where like sometimes like I'm driving and I'm trying to figure out like where I'm supposed to turn, and I can't think when the radio's on. So it's like I have to turn. Only one thing can be happening at times. Like, that's not impacting what you're doing. And it's like, yes, it is. And that's what I thought. I was like, they can't think right when the shirt's on. They're just like, we have to get rid of that sensory input. Well, maybe on some level that is the same thing.
I would kill for a segment where they were like, we should plan this out, and then immediately start taking their clothes off.
Their tops off.
They do their taxes, as they weirdly frequently discuss.
Yeah.
And they like, I will not be able to make these figures add up until I remove this tank top.
Yep.
I have to say, well, it's strange credulity based on things that we know to think of Greg Trent Beretta being able to do his taxes. We know he can't, but of course, if I imagine him trying to, absolutely he pops his top off. That's the first thing. That's the first thing. If he's like, I'm going to make a good faith effort to do my taxes, shirts off. Shirts off immediately.
Yeah. Shirts off, backwards baseball hat.
Yeah.
Maybe he can write his name on his taxes.
He writes Trent Beretta. It's like, that's not your legal name, baby. That is not your legal name. I think we're gonna have to let this obviously play out a little, and I think we'll have to continue to interrogate. I think you raised some really good points, Mike, about like, what does Mox mean? Now, what do you mean by that? The number one question, John Moxley. But in terms of contrasensualism, we've never experienced anything like this ever. Right. So I feel like I'm in like kind of like, it's like Weird Science to me. Like I made a woman with my mind. I don't think that's the plot of Weird Science, but that's how I feel about these segments. Did you come from my mind? From my diary?
Who's been reading my diary? Tony Khan. It does, like, I am really excited about it, not just because I'm obsessed with this entire segment, but also it's like, you have to imagine that this is changing Ospreay. And like, he's a perfect wrestler, but his ability to like do promos or tell like, coherent emotional stories was always lacking. This has got to be changing him, right? Like, what is this? What kind of man is this about to make? When he gets dominion over his mind, what are we gonna see from him? I'm so excited about it.
It's thrilling. It's thrilling to contemplate. When he has to, what could he accomplish when he achieves dominion?
Hey, sweetie, your mother showed me this Carvana thing for selling the car. I'm going to give it a try. Wish me luck. Me again. I put in the license plate. It gave me an offer. Unbelievable. Okay, I accepted the offer. They're picking it up Tuesday from the driveway. I haven't even left my chair. It's done. The car's gone. I'm holding a check. Anyway, Carvana, give it a whirl. Love ya.
So good, you'll want to leave a voicemail about it. Sell your car today on Carvana. Pickup fees may apply.
Should we leave it there? Any final thoughts before we? Well, actually, we're going to continue to discuss it. So no final thoughts because we're about to ricochet in another direction. So we're so excited about this. The Opps had a segment on Collision where Shibata was filming a cheery Hook and Samoa Joe as they wandered around backstage. And Samoa Joe is asking Hook what he's been up to since Samoa Joe left. And Hook is so excited to share, I've been holding it down. I've been recruiting, strengthening up the troops for us. Samoa Joe makes a face like he hadn't known Hook was familiar with either the word or the general concept of recruiting. And he's genuinely kind of impressed to hear this. It's unexpected, but he's pleased. Anthony Bowens approaches. He's like, I need to know whether I'm in the Opps. They're kind of hazing him a little, being like, the Opps are full, dumbass. But then Samoa Joe reveals, like, full, because it looks like you're the newest one. It was a little cheekier almost than I expected from Joe. But I liked it.
Yeah.
I mean, for a certain value of like. I felt fine about it. So then on Dynamite, Renee's interviewing the Opps. Samoa Joe has had how did this even, did he have a match on this week or last week? Was it just
Joe?
Maybe he had a match on Collision
it was this week. It might have
I
been.
believe Collision.
Yeah.
Great. Collision. Collision. He had a match on Collision. So it's like a post match. No, he was dressed. He actually was really dressed and he had a shirt on. Shut up, Allie. It doesn't matter. She's just interviewing them. It doesn't matter. She's interviewing the Opps. And she's like, what's going on with you guys? What's the plan? And Samoa Joe says, my plan is to talk at you for a while, so fasten your seatbelt. And he says, I have a game plan, a declaration of intent, and he's explaining that the Opps also want to assert their dominance over AEW. This is interesting because now we have an internal and an external field of dominion. Any thoughts on that?
I just don't know why they need to dominate things. Like, I know that's worse than questioning the Dynamite Diamond Ring in terms of like undermining the whole enterprise. Every time they say this, I'm always like, I didn't know that was possible or desirable.
It would be so funny if Renee ever interrupted one of these and was like, how do you feel about just like coexisting with your coworkers?
You ever seen one of those bumper stickers? They're so nice because they're about how we all can just live together. No one has to have dominion over anyone. The men of wrestling don't know about that concept. It's dominion or bust. And I do like that it's a step forward to not be attempting to exert dominion over others and to only attempt it over yourself.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. But anyway, Samoa Joe is explaining, he's kind of talking up each member of the Opps in turn and explaining their value. And then he says, that brings me to you, Will Ospreay. I froze. I said, shut up. Now, before you say another word, fucking stop. But he didn't stop. He said, you see, Will, I hope and I pray that you're not suffering from Stockholm Syndrome. Well, this is where our opinions differ. I pray to God he is.
It's actually the number one thing I'm hoping for, Joe.
All I want is for him to succumb to Stockholm Syndrome. He says, because those boys in the Death Riders, they had you in the very same position that we saved you from not too long ago. Oh, that they saved you from. Whatever. He says, listen, I saved you once. I saved your life once. That's what matters. And I had your back. So you have to ask yourself, what kind of relationship do you want? One of convenience or one of confidence? because the Opps are here and the choice is yours. I said, Mox is very confident and very convenient.
Well, I'll say this. If you think that Mox is a relationship of convenience, I don't think you're paying attention.
Proximity-wise, he was right there. I'll give you that. He was the first thing you saw at the end of a very long, bad day. I will give you that. Get a fucking job and stay away from her, Samoa Joe.
Yeah. Don't interfere in art.
What do you think? What do you guys? What? Where is this going? Is this
She's
going
so
somewhere?
mad. She's so bad she can't make sentences.
I don't know what to ask. Like, I'm just like, are they doing this to me for real? You know?
I think
Are there even enough Opps to face the Death Riders and Will Ospreay?
There's only 4 of them, but Hook's been recruiting tirelessly. So.
I think that they're gonna wrestle. Like, I don't.
Got my ass. Shamed on my own podcast. Mike said, "Do you know what your podcast is about?"
Like, I mean, it was a surprise to me too. I didn't think that we were building to a match between Will Ospreay and anyone, because the moment the story is that he's not allowed to wrestle. So the idea that people are lining up to be opponents for him is very strange. I don't know why he wants to wrestle Will Ospreay right now.
No. I mean, honestly, I did sink so deep into that vignette where I'm like, Will Ospreay's never going to wrestle again. He's like doing weird sex stuff in the basement.
He found something better than
What do you
wrestling,
mean?
if you can imagine it. It's
Will
called
Ospreay's
intercourse.
He's not home. Leave him alone. Yeah. I don't know. Like, the idea that Joe thinks that he can convince Will Ospreay to join the Opps instead is so absurd that I'm like, I won't be taking you seriously.
Yeah. I guess that's what I'm saying. It's like he could never win.
Yeah.
He'd never win.
What would make it a lot more enjoyable for me is if Hook would continue to assert, as was his catchphrase for a little while there, I'm Hook. I'm the leader of the Opps. If Hook were treating Will Ospreay the way that he's been treating Anthony Bowens, that would be a stew. I would be very curious to see how that played out.
Yeah, you're right. I'm immediately intrigued. I will say I'm immediately intrigued by that. I don't really understand, like, Hook. The fact that Hook and Samoa Joe are like having such fun now that Samoa Joe is back, I'm like, Hook, I thought that maybe you might get a little seduced by the feeling of being a boss, which you're not good at. And the thing about wrestling and about Hook specifically is that he could turn on Samoa Joe at any moment. He's not going to be giving me any clues because he can't act about whether or not there's a seething, simmering resentment inside himself about not being a boss anymore. So we won't know till it happens.
I'm trying to picture it. I'm trying to picture the moment of betrayal. Hook chokes him out.
Red rum.
Yeah, red rum.
Yeah, there we go.
Mm-hmm. But the thing is, this goes back to the. You know what? I can't even get into that. I was like going to try to go back to a Darby thing. It's like we can't do that.
Can I say something that nobody's going to like to hear?
Ooh, I'm scared, but yes, for sure.
I thought Samoa Joe looked so cute in that little outfit.
Oh, you liked that little
I was
outfit?
mad at him for interfering with Will Ospreay, but I was like, the pastels kind of look cute on you.
I didn't mind it, but it didn't do anything for me.
Kind of did. When I had him on mute, it was better.
Shh. Shut up.
Shut your beautiful mouth.
Shut up. Put those beautiful pants on. Put that lovely spring outfit on.
I miss his little suit from when he became champion, and he had the it was a blue suit with like yellow check or like a checkered pattern on it or something. I really enjoyed the idea that he became champion and was like, I need to up my game a little bit. I need to show up as a professional.
I think he had one of the only well-fitting suits we've ever seen on a man in a ring,
which is
much.
Miraculous with his body. The idea that he's the only one who can find a tailor that understands a wrestler's body, that was fascinating.
The rest of these men have never been to a tailor. Please don't talk crazy to me. They don't know what a tailor is.
Yeah, yeah.
They think suits grow on trees. They don't even know that they're made by people.
They walked out of Men's Warehouse. They didn't even try it on before they bought it. They just guessed.
Well, then who cut the weird expanding window into the back of Bobby Lashley's suits, if not a tailor?
You're so right. That actually is a different situation. Bobby Lashley does have a tailor who is a criminal who deserves to die. Bobby Lashley's tailor should actually be in The Hague. So, thank you for that redirect. I had forgotten. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's check in briefly on the women's division. Had to go to Collision for a lot more of this than I thought I should have to. Is what I'll say. Let's put a little more of it on the main show. That's just an idea. Okay. We got a backstage segment on Collision with Shida, Stat, Harley Cameron, and Mina Shirakawa, where I forgot. Okay, is there any chance that you know what this was referring to, Mike? It's that Harley intimated that she had asked Chris Statlander to train her, and Stat refused.
I do not remember that happening on screen. It's very possible I missed it. They had that run as a tag team where they seemed to be having a good time.
Did they?
Yeah, they had it was
it post
I think it was during your
pre?
vacation.
Okay.
They had a run where I actually kind of thought they might stick with that team for a little bit, and they had a very fun, horny energy. Stat was like carrying her around. It was a good time. I don't remember the part in that where she said she wasn't going to train her, and I'm confused by the idea.
Yeah,
but it could have happened in there.
I'm very confused about what's going on with Harley because Willow kind of dumped her. Chris kind of dumped her. But her energy is kind of, I don't know. I don't know what she wants me to take away from any of this.
Well, she's always been a very confident character, even when people were underestimating her or being mean to her. In, Mercedes' case, she's always been very kind of confident and forward. This presentation, she was kind of retiring and apologetic almost about being like, really bummed me out that you wouldn't train me. And then she also seemed to be trying to work herself up to be like, and Shida, I heard you're being mean to me in Japanese. And I wish you wouldn't because it hurts my feelings. So this felt like a new character note that I don't really understand where it's come from, but we all have hard times in life. So, but Mina kind of jumped over her. And I think Mina is doing a really good job in this of like, this is a woman whose wife has been taken from her and she is externalizing every single feeling she's having at every single moment, I think fairly effectively.
Yeah.
And she jumps in to be like, no, ask for that apology. She's being such a bitch. Ask for the apology. And Shida doesn't apologize. She says, I will say it in English to your face. You're not on our level. You've never been on our level. And if you don't believe that, me and my good friend Stat will do what you can't. Beat Divine Dominion for the tag titles. Mina screaming, Stat, how can you trust her? Which I liked. Didn't mind this. Chris is doing some acting. And as usual, I love her to death. I love her so much. As usual, I am not sure what I am to take from the acting she is doing. Did anyone feel like they knew what was happening here?
No, and it continues to be a struggle because it's like Stat she doesn't move her face when she makes expressions. So I have no idea what on earth we're supposed to take. And they tend to do things to the women's division where they're like, you're a heel now, you're a face now. And it's like, that part is not Chris's fault, but like,
no,
it gets you into a place where you're like, are you about to turn heel with Shida and we're supposed to be picking that up? Or are you trying, I have no idea what we're supposed to, and it's like, it's not supported by Chris, and it probably won't be supported much by the rest of the show. So I don't know. I don't know what's happening. I kind of like Shida's energy, but nobody else's.
I don't know what is meant to be happening there either. I think you described it perfectly. There is a feeling like maybe she could potentially turn heel. I don't think she's going to. I think she's waiting until the next beat where she would do something that we would be able to follow.
Yeah. She was mostly what I could read, and this was because she clutched her head like she had the migraine. I was like, you wish people weren't screaming so much, which I do find relatable, although I'm often the woman screaming. So, but she mostly looks like I'm tired and I can't be hearing this. And she left to go fight her match, and Shida also left. There was a little exchange where Shida said something mean in Japanese to Harley, but then Harley, it turned out, knew something to say back in Japanese, and so then she said that, and I said, I don't know what's going on. I'm confused. And, Chris beat a jobber, and then she's leaving, and Shida had been like watching the match, like they're friends, and tried to hug her, and Stat wouldn't hug her, but then they did fight this doubles, I tried to say, tag team match on Dynamite versus the Divine Dominion. And they lost. And it's just a match, so I'm not going to describe any of that. It was a match. It was a match that happened. And what do you mean? What else was about that?
Divine Dominion did a promo. I forget whether it was Collision or Dynamite. I think it was Collision, where they were like, I'm not concerned about this thrown together tag team. And I was kind of like, Lena Cross, you just showed up one day. Yeah. You had no prior relationship with Megan Bayne. Who are you? How dare you call any tag team a thrown together tag team?
Like, baby, you're in the picture you're pointing at. That's a picture of you.
You are literally Penelope's stand-in.
Yeah, there's a meta element to that is not particularly helpful to the storytelling, because what she's doing is she's saying, you know how you know that often we'll sort of like put together a team briefly so we can kind of have a little feud and then move on after we've killed some time. This is one of those. And it's like, I wish you didn't know that. Like, I know that, but I wish you didn't.
Yeah.
You should believe that, like, I actually do. That's interesting. It would be better for people to generally, if you're in a thrown together tag team, treat it like you just started dating someone and you're telling me, your best friend, like, this is the real deal.
Yeah.
And it's not. And I know it isn't. And I know this is not going to work out, but you are really into it. For the next 2 weeks, you're going to be really into it, and it's going to go really bad.
Yeah.
To have that dynamic a little more, I think couldn't be a bad thing.
Yeah.
I think this. I'd love to know more. You know, I'd love to know more. I think I also feel, and I don't quite know what to do with this, but I feel like Willow absenting herself from this group, like breaking up with Harley because she has to defend the TBS title, and then like not being involved in any of this, even though she's kind of she would be helpful. It would be helpful to have her around, to have a little more glue in there.
Right. And it would, like, to me, having Willow around would make Chris's possible heel turn feel like it had more stakes, because I would just sort of be like, you can't do that to Willow again. Like, oh my God, like, she forgave you after all that time. Like, it would feel more emotional, whereas, I don't know.
Yeah.
It doesn't without her.
And Willow's not really, she's walking a lonely road right now. She's doing this, she had a promo, like a pre-tape on Collision that was just about how she has a new nickname called the Comeback Killer, which is when people come back to wrestling from a long time away, she beats them. And I thought, I think you're better than this. I actually think we could be doing a lot more with you, and you have a lot more to give than being in not a storyline even, than being in no storyline and being the Comeback Killer.
Yeah.
So,
I don't enjoy, like, not having, I don't know, the state of the women's division is not pleasing me, and I just keep being like, either Tony or Mercedes has to come back, because I can't keep doing this week after week, being like, well, hopefully it'll get better.
Yeah.
I don't even know what I would want Willow and Stat to do if we got them together. I feel like they have been kind of the victims of they kept kind of reorienting their story as they needed to make the other things work. And like that's a fine thing to do in wrestling more, when you have to. But it does mean that you get to this place where now, like, I kind of don't want to see them together. Even as I, like, agree that that's the main dramatic resource that they have with these characters. It's like you're saying, like, I don't want to see her turn heel on Willow again. I would rather watch almost anything these characters could do other than being friends and not being friends again.
Yeah, I don't want her to turn heel on Willow again. It's just that I don't think she is going to turn heel, so that her choosing Willow would be more entertaining to me. Mm-hmm. If she does turn heel, I actually would hate that because, frankly, I wanted her to join the Death Riders. Yeah. And especially since they came up with the tag titles not that long after that, they could have had Chris join the Death Riders and been in a tag team with Marina, which I think would have been a more long-lasting story that everybody would have enjoyed. So if she turns heel again, that's going to piss me off because I'm like, if you didn't care that she was a face, she should have just stayed with the Death Riders. But I don't know.
Yeah.
It's whatever.
I don't know. I guess I don't even know what I want. And I wasn't even really thinking about, I was thinking like that Willow and Stat have a relationship, but I was even just more thinking that it's like Harley seems so unmoored in this. Like, I don't really understand what you're doing with her. And it's like, well, she had a relationship with Willow. It's just weird to like take away the person that everyone had relationships with a little bit. Yeah. I don't know. But I don't know what I would advocate for. I don't have the answers. Guys, come on. I don't have the answers. Stop asking me. Oh, you're killing me.
I do like the idea of giving Harley a little bit more to do, though, because I feel like she was a pretty load-bearing minor element of the program for a while, and it was always working for me. I always had a good time. So I've got the thing now where I vaguely wonder, since some aspects of what they're doing with her don't make sense, where I'm like, I guess maybe she's injured too, which is not... Yeah, I mean, that's...
Oh, Mike. Oh, I hate to hear this kind of thing out of you.
It's not the relationship that I want to have. Again, it's like I would rather be excited to see the character on screen and get to see her do some interesting stuff. But yeah, she's kind of just where they can find space for her. And they're not... Yeah, I don't think they made enough space for her to do something.
Yeah. Well... developing situation that's been developing, and we'll continue to watch it develop, and that's what we love. We love watching it develop week to week. I could develop a little more, maybe a little more development, and that's going to be my recommendation. Oh God, Tony, my God. Okay, FTR had a live promo on Collision. I've said here, I don't even know how to explain it, but Cash Wheeler, sometimes it's like I just look at him and I'm just like, I can't believe you're a person. Like when he's talking, especially, it's like, what are you?
No, he has an uncanny quality for sure. I have never gotten past the moment where Dax talked for a while about his family and how important it was that he fed them by winning tag team gold. And then Cash screamed, "I don't have a family." And that was almost the end of that was his main contribution. And so now every time I see him, I just think, there's a man without a family. And that is what happens to you. When you don't have a family, you become this creature, this wrestling elemental, but not like even an especially like specific one. He's just kind of a mad guy.
I'm going to start saying that in my life. I'm like, you're right. Like, if you don't have a family, you're a cryptid. I'm going to start saying it. I don't have a family. Jesus. Oh my God. You know, it's funny to think that's the kind of line where it's like if like Roddy had ever said that, we would have heard it like 2,000 more times. Like it would have been like, that's a catchphrase. Yeah. I love it's like the thing about like FTR have like one catchphrase. They don't crave catchphrase at all. You know, it's like they have no concept of like, I could keep saying it.
People loved when I said I didn't have a family.
Maybe he hurt his own feelings about it or something.
He went home later and looked in the mirror and said, "I don't have a family."
That actually didn't make me feel good. Oh my God. I just watched an episode of MASH where a nurse like ran out on her own birthday party because they were singing for She's a Jolly Good Fellow, and she ran out crying and someone had to go talk to her and she was like, I'm not jolly or a fellow. And that's how I feel. I'm imagining Cash Wheeler like running crying out of his own birthday party promo being like, I don't have a family. Oh my God. Okay. Well, he's a cryptid. Anyway, he's like, I don't know why, at Copeland. He's like, I don't know why you're acting like you had to trick us into this match. We just wanted you to bring something to the table, and you did. You said you quit as a tag team, so you wanted to entice me. Consider me enticed. We can go for that. Dax is wearing these teeny little glasses, and he kind of lectures Cope about having old-timer entitlement and said nobody wants them there, and he goes through all the different people who don't want them there, which I think is, kind of a fair point, but he is in those little glasses, and he's repulsive, so I'm not on his side exactly. And he said, you didn't have to play your little Adam Copeland mind games, like challenge our manhood to get this match. All you had to do was put your tag team careers on the line. So a New York street fight sounds great to us, but I'll do you one better. If we're going to have this match, I want there to be no more questions about who's the best or something. New York street fight, I quit. I want your wives, your daughters, your dogs, God Almighty above, to hear you do the one thing that is embarrassing to every man. 5 letters, 2 words. I quit. Now, we got you in the hot seat here.
Yeah.
Mike. Would you say those are the 2 words that are embarrassing, a humiliation that you cannot come back from ever in your life to every man?
No, I'm confused by that claim. I've said many much more embarrassing things very recently that went much more to the core of my manhood, really threatened me as a man. Quitting is not something that I have a lot of call to do generally. It's not an important part of my life, but when it needs to happen, it needs to happen.
Yeah.
I was going to say, you fascinated me. I feel like I quit constantly. I feel like I have a call to quit every single day, and I usually do. Every day there's a point where it's like, I could keep doing this or I could quit. And I say, I quit. I won't do it.
I don't usually conceptualize it as quitting, I think, is the thing. Quitting for me is something I do at work. If I am done working at a job.
Yeah, okay.
If I were to make a commitment to a softball team, I think leaving that would be quitting. But
hypothetically, if I were to say I could commit to a softball team and I later realized that the softball team was triggering something that I just couldn't deal with and I just had to get out of there. I understand, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if mac and cheese callback. But no, I don't. The amount of talk that they do about humiliation is another one of those things that really makes me feel like, I guess I'm doing the masculinity thing okay, because it is not deciding nearly as much of my life as they posit in character. It is determining their choices.
I'll tell you for free, you're doing better than pretty much every man I know. So you're killing it. You're really killing it. I guess what I'm saying is you're such a normal person, and you don't say things that make me think you should work on that.
We gotta intervene.
You don't make me say ooh, Mike, jeez. They're so, FDR just drive me fucking crazy when they say, it's as I say every week, I'm they're heels, so I guess I have to say something bad, but I'm I don't know that you should be don't put this out there into the world. I quit. There's nothing wrong with saying I quit. And you might say it's a wrestling match and it's bad to say I quit because you lose the match. I don't care. I think this is a dangerous message.
Well, it's how they get so fixated on the idea of submission, right? Submitting is much worse for a wrestling man than simply being pinned or knocked out. Being knocked out is the best thing that can happen to you.
That is the one, I think, that who did we have on that we made them debate this? Was it Rich Latta? Because we simply couldn't get our
Could have
brains
been any
around
of our
it.
beloved men that we
Passing
subjected
out,
this to.
To me, that's the most humiliating one.
I agree.
I understand the logic of it. I can't say I endorse it.
I think that the strongest thing you can do is know your own limits.
Yeah.
Because
Using
I'm a
your
woman.
safe word is okay.
It's okay. Tap out. Just tap out.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's fine to submit. I think that
Yeah.
what John Moxley did, where he laid down and gave
Yeah.
his neck to his friend Will,
Yeah.
that was very good. That
It was
was
a place of
I'm
strength.
proud of him.
It was to his enemy. It was to his enemy, Will, which is even better. It was to his a man he's seducing. He's actively seducing to a seduction object. Wrong. That's not right. So it's complicated. Let's not talk about that anymore. Leah, I think you had a good point about this. You might want to make.
How many things do they have to add to this match to make it interesting?
Yeah.
It's a retirement match, it's an I quit match, and it's a street fight. Like, do they really need that much help?
I hope we get 2 more. Because that would be confirmation, at least, that they're aware.
Two more would be like they're shooting the moon. They're actually shooting the moon.
It might loop around too. I like it now.
It is some kind of, it's a hat on a hat on a hat on a hat on a hat. I mean, this pudding is inedible at this point. So eggy is it?
I feel like if I'm in a street fight and I say I quit, it does end the street fight and I may be retired. Like, I don't know that you have to actually communicate any of these things.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it feels a little unnecessary. I will agree. I like your suggestion here, Leah. You said, or do these duds need the help? I thought that was a fair point.
I mean, this takes me back to to be mean, to do my bit of being mean to Cope and only Cope. This takes me back to the moment where he had the really, really boring match with Mox for the title, and everyone was bored out of their mind. And then they were like, I'm sorry, we didn't have weapons. We need to do it again with weapons this time, because then it would be interesting. And it wasn't interesting. Although, I mean, it is inherently interesting to see a man receive many spikes in his back, and then they stick there and somebody tries and fails to get them out, and the skin is kind of gooey from how ruined it is from the spikes. That's interesting in a sense, but it's coercively interesting.
Yeah.
And that's how this feels. It feels like they are holding me down and shouting, you'll be interested in this wrestling match or I will retire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What you really like with a prop based match or a stip based match, you like to feel like you could have certainly held my attention with a normal match, but this stipulation really meant something to you, so you added it in because you really wanted to do something with it. I don't know that I felt like they have something they really want to do with it. I think they just kept saying, like, is that enough to get people? Like, does this feel intense enough? Do the stakes feel high enough? They feel like how they are, I think. They feel like how they are. I will be astonished if they lose this match. And I in a way, do think that would be humiliating for them. To end your partnership over FTR, that would be humiliating. So, good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck to them. We got a backstage segment on Dynamite where they were kind of responding to this with Renee, and they have a little back and forth where they accept this upping of the stipulations, and Cope needles Cage a little bit, being like, you have said I quit at AEW before, and Christian Cage is like, I didn't, and I never have. And then Cope is kind of doing a commiseration with Renee, like he totally has, obviously, but he's not going to this time. And their love is real. And I do think they have a love that is real, and I found that cute. But I also thought, like, let's get our heads in the game. Oh, do you want to win? Let's focus.
I am like over Cope, but I do like when he pulls Christian's pigtails. So I did like that. Yeah.
When a man has a husband, that's something I'll always respect. You know, because the sanctity of marriage means something to me. Oh, okay. So then this is where we just kind of go off the rails. And it's like the rest of this, I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what's happening here, but I put the pieces together as best I could. So we're all going to work together. It's collaboration from this point onwards. Let's go back to Collision. The Death Riders have teamed up with the Dogs, who are down a dog. We're down a dog this week, but then we borrowed a dog. So it makes you think. The Death Riders and the Dogs have teamed up to fight the Young Bucks and the Rascals. And the Death Riders and the Dogs win. And Mox is on commentary, and I actually didn't get to see this yet, but I believe he called some people either virgins or surgeons. And that's what I have to report from that. And
listen, it's easy to mix them up.
Yeah. Well,
same
pretty
kind
much.
of thing.
There's one thing I'm always saying about surgeons. It's that they don't fuck.
You never see him fuck.
You never see him
fuck.
You never see him fuck. And so that's what happens on Collision. And then if we go back to Dynamite, or forward to Dynamite, Christian and Cope are scheduled to fight Rocky and Trent, RPG Vice, which they do. And they win the match. And at some point in the middle of the match, FTR are there making pests of themselves. And the conglomeration, our trios champions, are in the front row. And they somehow get involved through a series of popcorn-based comedies, which I don't object, obviously, to. And they are fighting with FTR. And FTR and the conglomeration move off into the crowd, and they leave the scene. And on stage in the ring, Christian Cope win, and then Christian is like, let's send a message. So he gets a chair, and he hands it to Cope, and he's like, basically like, kill this man. And it's Rocky Romero. He's kind of like, let's torture this man until he says I quit and experiences the ultimate humiliation that a man can experience. And Cope, who is a face, is like, fuck yeah, I would fucking love to do that. And so they torture Rocky. Or no, it's Greg. It's Greg. Sorry. It's Greg. They torture Greg until he says I quit. And then Cope puts a popcorn bucket on his head. And he cavorts around a little in the popcorn bucket. And there may be an enemy there that he's pursuing, but I truly can't remember. I welcome any insight either of you have into that.
None.
I was so confused by the popcorn, and that's the sort of thing that I should find charming for him to put a thing on his head. Like when Chris Jericho, if he did that, I feel like I've seen him do that.
Yeah, I'd love to see it.
Oh, I'm thinking of like when he put like a traffic cone on his head, right? I think there was one of those.
Well,
anyway, a lot of people putting a thing on their head, I'd be delighted. With Cope, I was just like, I don't know why you're doing this.
Yeah.
I
don't
still
believe
don't know.
you. I don't believe you.
Yes. That is it. Normally he is the opposite of whimsical in his decision making, and he did just as you say, torture a person in a way that it was genuinely unpleasant to watch. Because what he did was he put that part of the chair in his mouth and like pulled on it so that and it was like that's not allowed in a wrestling match. That's not like part of the vocabulary of the usual violence. So it didn't mean anything. It was just a guy doing something really unpleasant to another person.
Yeah, I agree. And there's just something about the way he does it. Like I just somehow have never managed to get past. Like I'm just like, you throw yourself into making human torture machines or murdering a man for fun and pleasure. And then you turn around and you insist to me like I'm a nice man with a popcorn bucket on my head. And I'm like, just be evil, my God.
Right. If they were doing a storyline where Christian was convincing Cope to like slowly go heel, I would like that. But it's like they're not committing to that. Cope is just somehow a guy who can do that to Greg and a guy who can make shadow puppets. Like it doesn't add up.
Making him a heel would solve so many of his problems. Like that would and in a way where like I often have this headcanon where like he thinks that his character is a heel and we're supposed to be entertained by the fact that he behaves as if he were a face, but really he's evil. But like when you go back to the time that who was the woman that he almost murdered with the chair and then he had Willow come
Marina.
Was that Marina?
Yeah.
That was a much worse version of this same beat where it's like, listen, I'm not a bad guy. I'm not going to murder a woman with a chair. Obviously, that would be crazy. I'm going to have a woman murder a woman with a chair.
Yeah.
If he were a heel doing that, it would be off-putting, but I would understand what the idea was. It would be like, I'm rubbing it in your face that I'm doing something shitty. I'm pretending to be like chivalrous about it, but actually I'm being really nasty. That would make sense, sort of.
Yeah.
But he does. I don't know what he thinks he's doing. Like fundamentally, I don't know what he thinks he's doing.
No. And I agree that I often feel kind of like, I believe you may think you're, I have moments where I'm like, do you think you're doing something different than what you are doing? Like, are you like, I'm doing Inception? but you're not. You're not, and it wouldn't work if it isn't working. If you were, it isn't working as intended, and also you aren't. It's a normal dream. It's just a normal dream. It's a confusing little figure. And then actually, I don't think FTR are going to fight Orange Cassidy. And I think some of this, I don't know why I thought we were going to have to work it out. But now I've just gotten to the point where I'm like, who cares? I actually don't know why I don't know what's happening. The Dogs and the Conglomeration and the Young Bucks and the Christian Cope and like, they're all embroiled somehow. And to try and trace the threads of that at this moment feels intolerable to me.
Yeah.
What I know is that FTR want to fight Orange Cassidy, and they had to find another man because he's in a trio, and so they're going to team up with Tommaso Ciampa, and I don't know why.
I was
because of that because they were friends, but then then he was being nice, but now he's being mean, so he can be friends. Okay, go ahead.
I was kind of outraged that Dax and Orange Cassidy are going to have a single smash next week because I was sort of like, how dare you put your hands on Orange Cassidy?
Yeah, it's
your
repulsive.
Gross little hands.
It's nasty.
Gross. Ugh.
On our son?
On our son? Get out.
I have really grown to love Tommaso Ciampa. I went from I have no idea who he is or what his deal is, but I love his big beard. To just generally really enjoying his energy. And he really sealed the deal for me by eating the popcorn out of Stokely's beard. Because it was, I say this is concerning for me that I feel this way. I'm about to turn 40. I think that there's some stuff happening to me as I like reckon with my mortality. Because I look at Ciampa and I'm like, I feel like that's who I would be on a wrestling show. I feel like I would be the guy with the big gray beard, kissing other guys on the cheek, and occasionally eating food off of them. Like, it just makes so much sense to me. And it's why the big difference between us is I would say that you mostly don't see him fuck, and I think you would see me fuck. I think that if I ate the popcorn out of Stokely's beard, it would be an act of appreciation for Stokely's beard, which is currently in like an okay place, but he's had moments of really glorious beard work.
I would like you to use the correct word. It would be an act of contra-sensualism if you ate the popcorn out of Stokely's beard.
The problem I'm having is that I think you two know something about like the Latin root for contra that I don't.
No.
Because I don't understand how contra is different from counter.
I don't know.
Okay,
it's a different term.
It feels like the opposite of counter.
It's a different term. I don't think you're not missing. It's like one of them use one term, the other use the other. Okay. They're different things.
To me, it's like clockwise and counterclockwise, except it's
or like intra and inter.
Clockwise.
And actually, it is like intra and inter, so it does feel like they should be opposite because intra is in the school, and inter is amongst schools.
Yes, it is always a trap to get into divining inter versus intra, but I believe that is correct.
It's something like that. It's just something like that. I can't believe you called us on how we don't really know what we're saying.
You did and I didn't. I was specifically pleading ignorance.
We just love our new term. Is that a crime?
I trusted you.
I trusted you. But I guess we all let each other down.
I was like, I guess it is an inter. I was seriously thinking intra, contra. Okay, yep. That's clearly what's going on.
Google it, contra versus counter. Let's look it up. Same etymology, and they do both mean the same. I love it.
Google counter antonym.
Okay, I'll Google it. This is really good radio. It's like we're running long and we still do have one thing to talk about at least. So Google. Oh, I'm trying to Google counter. Counter. Let's find this. Conceit. No. Counter. Opposite. Ally.
Ally.
Ally sensual.
Shut it down.
No. Okay, well, you know what? Let's circle back on this later. Let's just put this. Let's put this in the parking lot, and let's get back. Let's get back to work because we're doing good work here. And
What
We'll come back to it. We'll
Mike
come
was
back
telling
to
us
it.
about how sexual he would be on wrestling, which I agree with, and I wish I could see. I would love that.
I would be eating food off of men and out of their beards, is what I said, and I stand behind it. And it is wild to me, though, because representation is so important, and I normally feel so represented, but I've never felt more represented than this weirdo going around eating stuff out of other guys' beards.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It was like sexy monkey grooming.
Yeah. And that's what Mike would be bringing.
Yes.
And God, I wish he would. I loved it. I like that I really kind of never know what he's going to get up to. It's usually weird, but it's weird in ways I don't expect. And I don't really understand who he is, except the man I made in my mind. But every time I say his name, I do feel pleasure. Tommaso Ciampa. And that's how they say it on the show, too. That's exactly how they say it on the show.
Every time I see him, I hear you say it.
Yeah.
Ciampa.
Ciampa.
Sarah started saying it like you on Trish and Sarah. And she explicitly was like, I am saying it like Allie.
Fuck yeah. It's a movement. All right. Okay, mini topics to wrap things up. On Dynamite, we got a pre-tape. We can kind of describe this together. Leah, I'd love you to use some of the language that you used talking about it earlier. We're in the Old West. We're in the Old West town.
Or as I call it, Bandito World.
Bandito world. We've gone to.
Immediately. I was like, we're in his home planet.
But that's right. And it did have, but there's something interesting about this. Like, you're in Bandito World, and somebody has been on a rampage, and there's bodies everywhere, and men stumbling out of the saloon, and one of them looked like almost like, I was like, is that a celebrity? I should know, but I don't think it was, but he had that kind of look, which is a little exciting, and something about it had the energy of like, we have externalized someone's internal world, which is so disordered that it like something has laid waste to Bandito's inner self.
Oh, it's like when somebody enters like a dream or something.
Yes.
It's like Swerve entered Bandito's dream and laid waste to it somehow.
That's how it felt to me.
That's sexy. If Swerve has those powers, that's a huge upgrade for him.
Yeah. That's a whole new level of breaking into someone's house. Makes you think. He broke into his world, his inner world.
His inner world. Wow.
My favorite movie, I've watched it, I don't even know how many times now in the past. I discovered like 2 years ago, and I will watch it now anytime, always, is Paprika, which is it's an anime movie about a lady who can go into people's dreams and wreak havoc and stuff. And this is all just a build up to me saying something that is unhelpful to all of you who haven't seen Paprika, which is that if Swerve were in that movie, it would be the scariest thing that's ever happened.
The thing about Swerve is that if you gave him any kind of unchecked power like that, he would take full advantage of it.
Yeah.
It's like, if you gave Will Ospreay that power, he'd forget that he has it some of the time. But like,
That's
Swerve would be using it to the biggest effects possible.
Obsessed with the idea of Will Ospreay getting Stockholm syndrome, being 2 years into his tenure as one of Mox's extremely sexual death riders, and then one day accidentally revealing, like, I can go into people's minds and I can like do anything I want in their inner worlds, and everyone just stops. And he's like, what'd I say? Mox is like, something you should have said 2 years ago. And the training situation would have been entirely different. Everything we've done since then would have been entirely different. What did you think I meant when I said dominion over the mind? And Will Ospreay's like, I don't think I do. You didn't tell me to think about that.
This is related to a thing I think about with wrestlers generally quite often, which is that wrestling is such an insane thing to do that so many of these people must have other talents that would be like also really powerful if they could think to tap into them, but instead they're doing this. And sometimes I get distracted by that. Like, what could you be doing, Will Ospreay, if you weren't doing this?
That is really...
And it is interesting because, like, I think Allie last week said about Darby that if he wasn't doing this, he couldn't exist as a person.
No. Unless he'd somehow, like, I don't know if they rebooted Jackass. Like, he could have made it onto Jackass, maybe, but even then, it's just like not really right. Well, we're in Bandito world, and the experience I had, which I think there's probably a number of ways you could have experienced this, but I was thinking about how I feel the last time we were in Bandito world, MJF was there because he was like, it was about, what match was he setting up with? Was it with Darby? Was it when he peed on Darby?
That was with
no, it was with
Hangman.
Hangman. It was when he peed on Hangman. Yeah.
Yeah.
So and MJF had been so mad in the episode earlier and cranky that I was like, MJF is having a tantrum in Bandito world. This is about MJF. And then when Swerve came out, I like shrieked. Like, I was just like so thrilled. Mm-hmm. And it just like worked completely on me.
Yeah. I didn't expect him, and I was really excited. And when he grinned that grin, I was just so happy to see him that I was delighted.
Welcome back.
Yeah, I always want to see you swerve. I do actually kind of prefer your idea of a recurring segment where MJF goes into Bandito's mental palace and wreaks havoc to get his frustration out. I would watch that.
For some reason only has MJF for some reason only has access to one other mental space, and it's Bandito's brain. And Bandito, I think this might like be a world where they're like soulmates or something. And I'm really sorry for Bandito that I'm saying that. And Bandito is like, please take your emotions out of my world. He's always just cleaning up his, Old West saloon.
He's the beleaguered saloon owner being like, I was just trying to have a nice day.
Or Bandito.
I'm picturing MJF crawling into the Being John Malkovich door and arriving in Bandito.
That's exactly it.
Dude, when I saw that movie in high school, it had such a profound impact. It was so scary. Though that crawl was so frightening to me. It was like one of the most viscerally scary things I'd ever seen. I felt.
That movie was like one of my first encounters with actually good art. That was like one of the first times I experienced something. It was like, oh, this is I don't like anything else. I've never liked anything else. This is the first time I've enjoyed something in my life, and I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's much more a statement of like where I was culturally than anything about the world. There's actually a lot of good art, but I hadn't found most of it.
Yeah, I would say I still haven't. I mean, I love you're always looking for something new. Right. It's that time of night. She's just talking to talk, recreationally talking. I think that's we can say that I liked Okada this week, but we don't really have that much to say about it. So unless you have something that you really want to say about Okada, Mike, then
I just love his face. I love his little face. I love his catchphrase, unlike Takeshita. Hearing him say unlike Takeshita is one of the great pleasures in this life for me right now. And I love that Takeshita is meeting his energy now and also being a shitty little guy. I think it's awesome.
They both have leveled up in the last month where they're both activated, they're locked into this feud, and they're both hamming for their life. And I just, kudos.
Yeah, they're really pleasing me. And I think Okada, like, it felt like it was kind of a long on-ramp where I was enjoying him, but I was like, you're not, like, I never see you cracking at all, because he was just like, I'm hot shit, I've got it covered. And I kind of had reached a point where I was like, oh, maybe you don't want to do anything. Like, you just you only want to do this and you're not going to do anything more. And it's been really pleasing to me that I see in his matches now, like, there's so much more visible tension in him where he's like, I'm getting frustrated. I want everything to be easy. I want to be like, like the fun Mr. Bitch. And I can't, because Takeshita is driving me so fucking crazy that nothing is easy anymore. And it's like, it's pleasurable for me to watch the acting that ensues as a result of this tension.
Yes.
Ever heard of it? Pleasure? I like it.
You're a simple woman.
I'm a simple woman. I like pleasure and I want to see him fuck. Like, what can I say? At the end of the day. What a fucking week, am I right? What a week. Wow. Was there anything that you wanted to talk about that you did not get a chance to talk about?
I do not think so.
I'm good. I've talked so much today.
You've
You
talked
were
a perfect
perfect.
amount. Yeah,
You
you
were
were everything to
perfect.
us.
You were a perfect temporary third leg to the stool.
You held us up. You're not, I think, as tall as Big Ann. And so, we missed that from the height perspective. We missed everything about her. We hope that she is healing. And we hope that she's horny because she's watching these clips. And we love her, and she'll be back next week. Mike, is there anything that you would like to plug before you head on out into...
Yeah. We pre-gamed this a little bit. The question was, last time, I didn't really talk up my fictional work. Should I do so now? I will do so briefly. I write fiction. My last name is Meginnis, spelled Meginnis, which is like the most Googleable name in the world because it's like a misspelling. Like no one spells it the way that we do. And my most recent book is called Drowning Practice. And I say most recent, I have two. That's the good one. The other one also exists. So Drowning Practice, I
Let's
recommend
talk ourselves
it.
up only on the pod. Let's talk them both up, Mike. Come on.
The other one is it's novel. You haven't read one like the other one.
There you go.
For good and for ill.
That's what I felt when I saw being John Malkovich for the first time. So nothing wrong with that.
Plug complete. I've plugged.
I did think you were going to say a little more. You said no. That's it. You can Google it if you want to. As we said before, though, we will repeat again that you also are the host of a wonderful podcast that we've been happy to be on in the past and hope to be on again in the future. It's always a joy to listen to Library Pizza. And you're just a great guy. I'll say that. You're a really fun, wonderful dude.
Your presence enriches my online life.
He's so
I'm in
mad
hell.
at us.
I'm so miserable. And I set myself up at the beginning. The second I said the thing that I said before, I was like, they're going to be nice now.
We're not even trying to torture you. It's like, it is just true, but he hates it. So it's like, he's a real piece of shit. Don't worry about it.
Thank you.
We don't tell you any more about this sack of shit here. On that note, I've been Allie.
I've been Leah.
I've been Mike.
This is Tunnel Talk. Our theme is by Chris Corkin. You can find us on Twitter, Tumblr, Twitch, and Blue Sky at Tunnel Talk Pod, via email, tunneltalkpod@gmail.com. You can find us on our feed, on the Social Suplex Network feed, where you can check out all the other great podcasts on the network. And you can find us on the Social Suplex Network Discord, where you can tell us if there's a really sexy segment on Collision that we just got to watch. Please rate, review, and subscribe to us wherever you get your podcasts. Stay frosty, and as always, please come back next week.
Mom, can you tell me a story?
Sure. Once upon a time, a mom needed a new car.
Was she brave?
She was tired, mostly. But she went to Carvana.com and found a great car at a great price. No secret treasure map required.
Did she have to fight a dragon?
Nope, she bought it 100% online. From her bed, actually.
Was it scary?
Honey, it was as unscary as car buying could be.
Did the car have a sunroof?
It did, actually.
Okay, good story.
Car buying you'll want to tell stories about. Buy your car today on Carvana. Delivery fees may apply.